Well, 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 look who's finally getting a taste of his own medicine. Yes, folks, the self-proclaimed media titan Piers Morgan is finding out what happens when karma decides to hit reply all. For years, Piers has made a career out of shouting louder than everyone else, throwing tantrums on live TV, storming off sets, and making entire documentaries about how much he dislikes Meghan Sussex. But now, the tables have turned, and the universe just poured him a big, steaming cup of poetic justice. And guess who's serving it? None other than Alex Jones, who recently roasted Piers Morgan so hard online that the comment section practically turned into a bonfire. Jones called him, quote, a disgraced globalist mouthpiece, begging Nick Fuentes to come on his show to boost his collapsed ratings. Ouch. You could practically hear the sound of Piers's ego deflating all the way from London. Let's pause there, because when Alex Jones, of all people, calls you disgraced, that's not a compliment. That's a career obituary. The irony is thicker than Piers's accent when he's trying to sound posh. Piers once thought he was untouchable, the man who fancied himself the voice of reason, the fearless interviewer, the truth-teller. But lately, truth seems to have taken out a restraining order against him. No ratings, no audience engagement, no credibility, just endless clips of him yelling into the void, trying to convince the world that he's still relevant. Spoiler alert, he's not. Now, Alex Jones's comment didn't just hit a nerve, it hit a Wi-Fi router, because the internet exploded. The comment section was full of public satisfaction that could power a small city. People were cheering Jones on like he'd just won a world championship for truth bombs. Finally, someone said it, one person wrote. Piers Morgan begging for guests is the best plot twist of 2025, another joked. And honestly, they're not wrong. Watching Piers Morgan beg for attention is like watching an expired phone battery try to charge itself. A lot of blinking, no actual power. Now, of course, Piers couldn't just sit there and take it. Oh no, he fired back at Alex Jones, because if there's one thing Piers loves more than arguing with facts, it's arguing with anyone who points out his downfall. He hopped online, threw his verbal spaghetti at the wall, hoping something would stick. But it didn't, because here's the truth. You can't defend no ratings. You can't debate the sound of an empty studio. And Piers's latest shows? They look like ghost towns. You can practically hear the echo of his own self-importance bouncing off the walls. Let's remember, this is the same man who spent years obsessing over Meghan Sussex. Every time Meghan sneezes, Piers Morgan writes an op-ed about royal decorum. Every time she smiles, he launches a 20-minute rant about virtue signalling. But now that his own numbers have crashed, guess what? Suddenly, the media's real villain isn't Meghan, isn't Harry. It's karma. Alex Jones just said out loud what millions have been thinking. Piers Morgan's career is sinking faster than his credibility. And the funniest part? Jones didn't even need a script. He just said what was obvious to everyone who's been watching Piers's slow-motion meltdown for years. He pointed out that Piers was begging Nick Fuentes to appear on his show, and yes, you heard that right. From hosting primetime debates to practically pleading for guests to show up, it's been quite the tumble down the media mountain. Imagine going from exclusive interviews to, please anyone, literally anyone, come on my show. It's tragic comedy at its finest. And let's talk about those collapsed ratings. Piers's numbers have fallen so low, they're practically in the witness protection program. His show, Piers Morgan Uncensored, more like Piers Morgan Unwatched. Alex Jones didn't lie. Even people who once defended Piers are now quietly backing away, like they just realized they've been standing next to a social media volcano. Public sentiment has shifted. People are done. They're tired of the constant anger, the manufactured outrage, the desperate clinging to controversy. Because here's the thing. Piers doesn't debate anymore. He performs Outrage like it's karaoke night, and the only song he knows is Why I'm Always Right. Meanwhile, Alex Jones's roast has become a meme machine. People are clipping it, remixing it, and sharing it across platforms faster than Piers can say, I'm not obsessed with Meghan. I just tweet about her hourly. And the beauty of it all, the public is in on it. They're laughing, commenting, and agreeing that this media meltdown is long overdue. Jones's jab landed because it exposed what Piers has been hiding behind for years, a facade of authority built on noise, not knowledge. Piers's reaction, though, is pure theatre. He's out here trying to play the victim, posting defensive quips, acting as if the world has wronged him. But let's be honest, no one forced Piers Morgan to become the villain of his own story. He auditioned for the role, repeatedly. When you build your career on outrage and negativity, eventually the outrage turns around and bites you. That's the thing about karma. It doesn't need an invitation, it just shows up with receipts. And right now, karma's invoice to Piers reads, 1 collapsed ego, 2 lost shows, and 0 sympathy. Even the algorithm has ghosted him. YouTube doesn't recommend him anymore. Twitter barely tolerates him. And his interviews, they're less exclusive and more exhausting. Meanwhile, Alex Jones just called him out in front of millions, and instead of reflecting, Piers doubled down. Because in his world, self-awareness is still buffering. But here's where the humour really hits. Piers Morgan used to mock people for being cancelled. Now he's living that slow, silent version of cancellation, not because of censorship, but because the audience simply moved on. The viewers grew tired of the shouting, the performative rants, and the recycled takes on Meghan and Harry. They wanted authenticity, and Piers kept serving bitterness. Alex Jones's comment just shined a light on the reality everyone already knew, but no one bothered to say out loud. Piers Morgan isn't controversial anymore. He's predictable. Let's be clear, the public isn't defending Alex Jones out of fandom. They're cheering because for once, someone gave Piers the mirror he's been avoiding. They see the same arrogance, the same hypocrisy, and the same endless cycle of victim playing that's dragged his reputation into free fall. And you can feel that collective relief online, like the internet finally exhaled and said, "Ah, finally, someone told Piers what we've been thinking for years." So what's next for our collapsing commentator? Maybe a new segment called Piers Morgan Searching for Viewers, or perhaps the Great British Ratings Bake Off, where he tries to cook up a new audience from leftovers. Whatever it is, one thing's for sure, he can't tweet his way out of this one. Alex Jones's words will echo for a while because they captured a moment of undeniable truth. Piers Morgan, once the loudest voice in the room, is now the punchline in his own echo chamber. And to the people in the comments section, give yourselves a round of applause. You've seen through the bluster, the drama, the endless self-promotion. You've supported the truth and called out hypocrisy. Because when the public speaks louder than the pundit, that's when real accountability happens. So yes, Alex Jones dismantled Piers Morgan, and the world nodded in agreement. No ratings, no respect, and now no one left to blame but himself. Maybe next time, Piers will think twice before mocking others for attention, but knowing him, he'll probably just schedule another interview with his own reflection. Either way, one thing's clear, karma doesn't miss, and this time, it's broadcasting live. So, to everyone watching, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video so the world keeps seeing through the noise and the ego. Because when truth finally claps back, it sounds a lot like Piers Morgan's ratings just flatlined.